The most common biome in the known world is conifer rainforests. A defining feature of this ecosystem is that titanosaurs, the giant sauropods, function as gardeners, maintaining game trails, moving trees, and clearing out space. The canopy is more open than the angiosperm jungles that we are more familiar with here on Earth. This regular maintenance has resulted in an abundance of meadows and clearings in the understory and forest floor. Perfect habitats for deer. Other switch-hitter browsers and grazers have made the wake of titanosaur gardeners their home. During the Tyrant Dynasty, it was a range of ornithopods. Parksosaurs were the first to follow the new titans after the dynastic extinction, and continue to do so to this day. For a time, early horses shared this niche with parksosaurs. South American ungulates like Macrauchenia muscled their way into the space, ousting the larger horses and leaving only smaller taxa. These smaller horses thrived for a time, but around 3 million years ago, harvest after harvest brought deer into these habitats, which proved more successful than the early horses, and are now extinct save for an endangered population of robust tapir-like horses on the western continent. Macrauchenia are still found in the north, but they too have lost ground to the antlered invaders. Deer have a number of advantages at their disposal, rapid reproduction and an adaptable diet being chief among them. They are also both fast and capable of considerable endurance, a key trait when trying to outpace pursuit predators, like young megaraptorans. Several species of deer can be found in the shadows of titanosaur gardeners both in the mainland continents and Picardia. Species familiar to us like the roe and fallow deer are found in the known world, being found on the western continent. A relative of axis deer is found to the north, where they have established themselves in the more forested regions of the Cervidic wetlands. A genus of deer, Cervavitus, is extinct on Earth but has 3 species in the known world. The most common and widespread cervid of the known world is the trident deer. This smallest species of Cervavitus is found in the western and northern continents, with a healthy population in Picardia. They are about the size of a whitetail. Comfort in water is a key to their success, enabling widespread dispersal. They can also eat a wide range of foods. Living in small groups and being comfortable sharing territory with other herbivores has also aided in their success. Another species of Cervavitus, the red stag, is still found on the western continent, although has largely been replaced by the more recent roe and fallow deer. The red elk is the largest and most revered species of Cervavitus. With bulls often reaching a ton and antlers spanning up to 6 feet, they are imposing animals. Like the stags of Earth, red elk are associated with nobility, composure, and prestige. The haunting bugles of males is regarded as a mark of a healthy forest by the Picardiant. They are a favored prey of game hunters throughout Kaimere, especially by the Picardiant, highly regarded for their quality, taste, and texture, and using their antlers for display. They live in small groups like others of their clade, with most herds having fewer than a dozen animals. Like trident deer, they are found on every continent, but are not as common in their range, except in Picardia, where they are the most common large mammal. While it is the context in which this clade has thrived, not all cervids are affiliated with the gardens of titanosaurs. Several species of barking deer are found in the forests of Kaimere. Although Gogomoti means viper deer in the language of the Picardiant, they are not deer, being closer to bovids. Even so, they are considered a member of the clade by the islanders, and it was only recently that the naturalists of Bolondokoy reclassified them in their catalogues of natural history. The caribou is quite common on the Kaline Islands, being more comfortable in the colder regions of the known world. Having been brought to the polar continent of Kaishel by Kaline merchants and herders, they are one of the few placental mammals on this otherwise isolated continent. The Howsey grasslands is home to the prairie elk, Megaloceros giganteus. Although not as fast as some residents of the prairie, they are highly cursorial and legendary in their fortitude, being one of the few animals that can challenge an Uuktan in contests of endurance. For males to grow their impressive antlers and females to bulk up before mating, they spend the wet season by the rivers and feast on protein-rich water plants. This puts them in great danger from the many predators in the water's edge, But the benefits are that they can functionally fast for the second half of the year, surviving on low-nutrient prairie grass and bark. An efficient gait, fat reserves, and high endurance means that these large deer thrive when many other mammals struggle. Most open territory is occupied by other ungulates such as antelope, horses, and camels. The success of the prairie elk in this context that tends to favor other clades is proof of the adaptability and virility of deer. The largest member of this family is, as on Earth, the moose. The Chimeran moose is of a different lineage than moose on Earth, however, being descended from their cousin Cervavitus. Moose have gotten truly massive on wetland vegetation and as predator deterrents. These solitary animals can hold their own in a fight, and at 1.5 to up to 2 tons and having a shoulder height often over 9 feet tall, adults have little to fear from all but the large megaraptorans. Like caribou and Kaimere and Cervavitus, moose are strong swimmers, and they are found throughout the known world, although they are more common in colder climates to the south, where they don't have to worry about competing with hippopotamus more common to the north. Although their speed and agility puts deer in a strong position of evading young megaraptorans, the most common mid-sized predators, there are predators in Kaimere that specialize in them. Big cats and hyenas are their most frequent predators. Eudromaeosaurs, with astonishing agility and a claw that they employ with surgical precision, are good matches against ungulates in general, although their lower speed means that they must often win battles of endurance before the kill. The Indrokai, largest of the firebirds, is a dinosaur which is specialized in the sort of ambush hunting that big cats use quite successfully against cervids today. Although they rarely weigh more than 200 pounds, Indrokai are quite capable of bringing down red elk bulls 10 times their weight, antlered and in full strength of rut, but they prefer young bulls and cows that they can pull into a nearby tree. As much as 2/3 of the prey taken by Indrokai are either trident deer or red elk. For their success, virility, and striking appearance, deer are highly regarded by the people of Kaimere. Many legendary figures and noble families use them as symbols in their heraldry. And based on cave art made by Chimerans who encountered homunculi, it seems deer were quite popular for the first children to incorporate into their horrid creations. It can seem odd that something so familiar to many of us is so common in an otherwise strange and dangerous world. Their success is a testament to contemporary Earth, and that the seemingly mundane is often more impressive than we might comprehend from everyday experience.